Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dice Cast, and I am Dalton Dye. Thank you for joining me once again, where we go over the world's news and anything else I find interesting. Brought to you from the #1 podcast, hosted by a retard. Thank you. Today, let's see. I got the podcast studio done. I got the video up, so we're rocking and rolling with that. All right, let's see what's going on out in the world today. We got Elon and Trump are fighting. It officially has started. Everyone said it was going to happen. These are two alphas, and they're going to eventually butt heads, and it's happening, it seems. And Elon is saying some wild shit. We got Kash was on Rogan yesterday. I got my thoughts on that. San Francisco almost went full retard. But they decided to pump the brakes on that just a little bit. SpaceX had their 9th launch that ended in another explosion. I'll tell you why most people are wrong about why that's not an issue. Let's see. I got Trump has made already tens of millions of dollars off of the news agencies that he's been suing because of the way they covered him during the election. I might have talked about that already. I'm not sure. I got a hiker rescued from Mount Fuji again after he went back to retrieve his cell phone. We'll get into that. Got a little discussion on Angel Reese. I can't stand her, and I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't either. Let's see. What else we got out there? We got a kid that was getting ready to graduate, and then his dad went apeshit and murdered the whole family and then himself. Another one of those. And we got a spider out here producing red silk like it's fucking radioactive. But apparently it's just good old classic CRISPR gene editing. So don't worry. Yeah, let's get it started. And I got a little rant about Facebook, maybe. So yeah, Elon Musk and Trump, Elon Musk and Trump are fighting, and it is full blown out war. They're not taking little jabs at each other. They're fucking, Elon at least is dropping bombs, baby. I mean, he came out and said, I think he's since deleted it now, but he came out with a post that said, I can't take it. I can't hold it in any longer. Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's why they haven't been released yet. And it's like, ooh, god damn, brother, you gonna do that to a friend? And if he is in the Epstein files, I want to know. But also, Elon, what, you were just like okay with it while he was helping you out? Like you were just okay working with a guy that's in the Epstein files? Unless it's not really that serious and it's what we already know about Trump and Epstein. And he was just trying to take a shot at... Now, I've heard somebody say that maybe this is a play for... they're in on it together, right? This is, again, where they talk about, like, Trump like he's a fucking retard, and then they also talk about Trump like he's a super genius. But they're saying that this might be 4D chess, and this big, beautiful bill that doesn't have, like, a fucking ounce of cutting in it. I know they keep trying to do some mathematic mumbo-jumbo to make it seem like it's cutting a lot of money. And maybe it is personal taxes, but it's not cutting on the budget, and we still have... but we are cutting taxes, so it's like, I don't know. I'm disappointed with it, too. So that's the whole point. They're saying that maybe he doesn't really think it's a big, beautiful bill, and so if Elon comes out and says all this crazy shit and is able to kill the bill, then Trump doesn't have to look like the bad guy for turning down this bill when really he would rather have something... Now, that sounds like people that are, like, sycophantic to Trump, just being like, no. But what's funny is I heard this from News Nation. But, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if Trump is that wily. Maybe, I don't know. He has had done things in the past where I'm like, oh, shit, maybe there was a plan all along. So, I don't know, but it is bummer to see them fighting. I like that they were partnered up and taking on the world. And then all of a sudden now they're fucking throwing mad shit at each other, and Trump is saying that if maybe we'll just drop all of Elon's contract. And now they are saying that Elon was pissed about the fact that he was dropping the tax credit for EVs. But Elon's been in support of that for a long time. Like, you can go back like to 2018, and Elon's got posts about we don't need the tax credit anymore. You can get rid of it. And I don't know how true that is, because I'm sure a lot that it almost made me buy an electric car. It was like $7,500 off. Fuck, this car is $36,000. If I take that off, I'm only down to 29. Oh, fuck. Maybe I can afford one of these fucking fancy things. And, yeah, but either way, so he is getting rid of that. But, I don't know, Elon came out immediately and said, like, I can't take it anymore. This bill is giant waste. It's not doing anything. It sounded like he had, like, just true, and he's got a huge voice, so it's news. But it sounded like he had, like, a for real, like, what the fuck, man? Like, what did I just do for the last 6 months? Doge was supposed to cut all the spending, and I know they're sending back to get, like, another $90 billion in rescission for Doge cuts, but $90 billion? We're supposed to get $2 trillion because it was $2 trillion bloated after COVID. So why the fuck is it the same amount? Whatever, anyway. So maybe he's just fed up like I was. Apparently they have cooled down. Let me get a little update on that. This is where having videos sucks because it's just going to be a jump cut to where I got the information. Whereas on audio, you could barely tell that I did it. It just seemed like I had the information. Bam, baby. I'm so glad I'm going to be back on YouTube and Spotify, though. I'm glad to have video again. Feels like I'm in a fucking closet, dark hole corner that no one's listening to when it's just me and audio. And it's kind of like that. I know my listeners are actually down. I think I've only got one buddy still listening. So I'm excited to get video again. All right, no, I don't want that. But yeah, apparently Elon has since deleted the tweet that talked about the Epstein files. So, yeah, I don't know. Kash Patel, I was gonna next, but I'll just loop it in. But Kash Patel was on Rogan yesterday, and I listened to the whole episode. And I can't tell if he's there to sell lies or give a realistic update about what he's up to with the FBI. Because, like I said, things seem to be taking a slow amount of time, but lawfare moves that way. I know that, so let's give him some time. So maybe after that interview with Bongino where he's like, it's a suicide. And then the whole world is like, bullshit. And so then he goes on Rogan. And it's like, fuck, have they figured out a way to infiltrate Rogan? And now he'll have people on that are propagandists. I don't want to believe that about Kash Patel, but that fucking Epstein shit. And then on the Rogan interview, he says like, well, I thought I'd heard all the cameras weren't working because there were fucking news articles saying, oh, yeah, all the cameras had malfunctioned. And Kash is like, I don't know where you heard that. That's not true. And it's like, And with what they got in AI now, it's like, oh, you're just going to say that, what? I don't remember that. And then give us a video that's supposedly from outside his cell that you might have typed into Grok that morning and said, like, give me a realistic security footage of outside Epstein's cell or something. I don't know. And all you gotta do is have a blurry fucking blotch of pixels look like Epstein fucking hang himself or however he did it. Hang themselves by, like, they do it weird in those kind of cells because you can't, like, hang from a rafter or hang from a fan. Don't do that. But fans can't hold a human. But they have to do that thing where they tie the sheet to the top bunk and then just kind of sink to the ground and let their head catch and hang themselves, which means they always have the ability to save themselves. So if you hang yourself that way, you wanted to hang yourself. You know? You can imagine some people that kick the bucket or kick the stool out from under them are like, oh no! Like right as it starts. But if you lay on the ground and like hold yourself just above the ground by your neck, so that you strangle yourself from a low source, from a low tie source, then damn, you was committed, you know? It's like a guy that jumps off a bridge and lands and lives and is like, fuck! And he runs back up top and jumps again. Like, God damn it, this is gonna work. No. Like, damn, that guy's committed. That guy is committed. You know, it's like killing yourself by holding your breath underwater. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? I drowned myself in a bowl of water. I'm like, wow, that guy wanted to die. Because he had to, like, fight his own resistance to it. Be like, no, you fucking stay down there. Like, wow, dude. How bad could it be? I mean, I guess it could be pretty bad. It can be pretty bad, you know? It can be so bad that you massacre your whole family. But we'll get into that later. Okay, sign in for the fucking 15 millionth time, computer. I swear to God, I click remember this device, remember this user ID, remember blah, 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 remember me. Every time, and every time, I gotta log into every website. What the hell? Is it? I'm not even using like a VPN that's like wiping my traces. I'm just using a computer. Just regular old. I am using Edge. Just as a fuck you to Chrome. That's really all it is. And it does seem to perform a little faster on my computer, which is a Microsoft. Maybe that makes sense. But, yeah. Yeah. Fuck you, Google Chrome. I don't need you knowing what I do. Although Edge is probably the same way. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Bill Gates ain't no fucking better than Sergey or Sinjay or what the hell the Google guy's name is. What's that Google guy? Who's the guy that runs Google? Who is the guy that runs Google? Let's find that out real quick. We're kind of all over the place here a little bit. This is how slow my internet is. I'm still trying to get it up. Sundar, that's it. I knew I was close with a Soon. I knew I was close. I knew it was one of them Indian names. Dots, not feathers, as they say. Come on. So, yeah, anyways. Elon Musk and Trump are at each other's throats right now. Trump is threatening to get rid of all their stuff. Elon, for a moment, said that he was going to turn off, retire, the, what do you call it? The Dragon capsule that he uses to launch astronauts. So that was like a tip for tat. Oh, yeah, fuck you. Then you can't even use my spacecraft. Like, it's a really weird fight they're having. Very few people get to have this fight. God damn. Woo! There we go, baby. Need a little airflow. Hopefully you can't hear that. But fuck you if you can. I don't care. I needed it. I was about to overheat and die. You want to watch me die? That's what you would have seen. You would have seen me die. Okay? Next, please, log in. I promise I'm going to buy a new computer. I had to worry about this first, and my kids and my family and all that shit. So, as soon as I get a little extra cash, I'm getting a new computer for this, and then this will be seamless. And you won't probably see this in front of you, or maybe you will. But I'll most likely have a monitor there. And I'll go, oh, yeah, very cool. Oh, nice. You know? I want to have a monitor there. But what do you think of my set? I'm not really sure about the red pathways yet, light path. I'm going to have to change that up a little bit. I don't know. Tell me what you think, chat. Sunday, that's a funny name for him, for us, as Americans. Okay. About to get best. Kash Patel did seem like he gave a lot of updates, though. I will say that. It is either the sign of like a newer, more transparent agency, or this is their latest attempt to sell propaganda. And they figured out how to infiltrate Rogan, like I said. And they, I don't know, that Epstein thing just rubs me the wrong way, but we'll see how they handle other things. Apparently they got a lot of shit going on. He revealed a few different things about what, things that he's found about the corruption that was going on during the Biden administration and the lack of effort, I would say, the lack of like will to prosecute or will to, you know, do anything about like the border or just anything other than the climate. He was actually going on a whole thing about how the last administration, like the directive was like, everything is climate related. That's all we're worried about. We're not really worried about like what the FBI wants or cares about. So I don't know. They sure used him a lot on old Trump dog. But it seems like it's just as corrupt as they made it seem. Like the Peter Strzok and the Jim Comey, all them fuckers just seem to be up to their balls in not corruption necessarily, but just bias, man. Which I guess is a form of corruption that they're willing to like lie, do whatever the fuck they can to get rid of a guy running for president. Something that if Trump did that, it'd be like, what fucking fascist, authoritarian, fucking dictator bullshit land are we living in, man? Trump is a fucking... I mean, they say Trump's a fascist now. But so imagine what the fuck they would say if he actually did some fascist shit. And, you know? That's why I think most people that say Trump's a fascist, if you say, okay, I will say that. If you say Trump's a fascist, you don't know what fascist means. You think fascist just means mean man you don't like or something. I'm not really sure what the fuck you think. Because if you looked at what he's actually doing and not just what you're being told by emotional freaks, then you'd probably go, oh, that's not fascistic at all. In fact, it's been said many times, Obama was far more fascistic. That dude locked up journalists. That dude put fucking Edward Snowden and what's his name on the run? Julian Assange. He didn't offer that man no safe passage for a fucking whistleblowers, blah, 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 like he campaigned on. All right, let's see what Grok's got to say. About to eat. No, that's Twitter, you dipshit fucking computer. Ben Shapiro's talking about it. Who gives a fuck? I used to like Ben Shapiro. I can't believe that. Now he just seems like such a hack. Such a hack. Free speech, unless you say something I don't like, then get the fuck out of my company. Oh, you're a woman? Get the fuck out of my company. Like, he's just, I don't know. He's a Jew. I'm joking. Don't think I'm an anti-Semite. There's plenty of non-Jews that act just like Ben Shapiro. Okay. Give me a summary of the Elon-Trump feud. A little rusty with the video, so, you know, don't hate me if this is not perfect yet. I gotta get back in the swang of videos. I gotta get back in the swang. And I need a smaller monitor. I feel like this is too big. Can you see my face over that fucking thing? Can you see my face over it? Maybe I need to stay up here like this. Musk, a major financial backer of Trump's 2024 campaign, spending nearly $300 million, was a key ally. Blah, we already know that shit. Trigger. What triggered it? Tensions surfaced when Musk, after leaving the White House role, criticized Trump's tax bill as a disgusting abomination. Woo! Big words, baby. For increasing the national debt by an estimated $2.4 trillion over 10 years, Musk argued the bill was rushed through Congress without transparency and contained excessive pork spending. Trump countered that Musk knew the bill's details and only objected after it cut electric vehicle subsidies impacting Tesla. I think Trump's bullshitting there because even during the campaign, I think Elon said, like, yeah, let's get rid of that. Escalation. The feud exploded on June 5th during a Trump White House event. Trump expressed disappointment, claiming Musk went crazy and suggested terminating Musk's government contracts. Worth billions for SpaceX and Tesla. And Tesla's stock took a fucking nosedive into the ground like a Japanese fucking kamikaze. Musk retaliated on X, accusing Trump of lying, claiming he was crucial to Trump's election win, and alleging Trump's... Oh, yeah, he also said that Trump wouldn't have won without him, which I can't argue against. And alleging Trump's ties to Jeffrey Epstein's files without evidence, a post later deleted. Musk also briefly threatened to decommission, that's the word I was looking for either. God damn, I told you the show was brought to you by a retard. Threatened to decommission SpaceX Dragon spacecraft, critical for NASA, before retracting. Then Trump called Musk a big-time drug addict. There was a story that came out, which now I'm almost starting to think maybe Trump pushed that out. But it said that Musk apparently was high as fuck for the last few months. He's on a ketamine routine, and apparently his ketamine routine is a lot. How much? Every day. And, yeah, so they said he was just fucking zooming. He was. I need to take. I've never taken ketamine. Give me the fucking ketamine. If it makes me feel like Elon Musk, give me the fucking ketamine. I'll take ketamine. I want ketamine therapy. I get the little ads on my Facebook. I just don't have $1,000 to drop on it right now. But I can bet your ass. You can bet your ass. I'm not betting my ass. I'll bet my ass too. Fuck it. Somebody. If I'm wrong, you can fuck me. Okay. I'm taking ketamine when I can afford it. Okay. So we're going to find out what that is all about, and I'll report back to you. So, yeah, Musk was... So, apparently Musk was high as fuck. He suggested Trump's tariffs could trigger a recession. Again, that's something that people have said, and he has denied. And so then when he says things like that, it's like, damn, you're just as political as all of them. Like, you'll just say whatever in what moment. I don't know. This kind of turned me off of Elon a little bit. and floated starting a new America party. The feud played out on Truth Social and X, with both men trading insults, drawing comparisons to celebrity spats like, fuck off, I don't care about that. Yeah, and Tesla's stock plummeted 14%, losing $150 billion in value, reflecting market sensitivity to the feud. Oh, is that what it did? It reflected market sensitivity to the feud. Oh, the market is sensitive to the feud. The public spat raised concerns about Musk's government contract, critical for SpaceX's role in NASA and Pentagon operations. Republicans worried about political fallout. I don't care what the fuck they worried about. However, by June 6th through 7th, both sides showed signs of cooling off, with Musk wishing Trump well and Trump focusing on policy over the feud. However, Trump indicated that there are no immediate plans to reconcile, and Musk's deleted post suggested some de-escalation. Lawmakers like House Speaker Mike Johnson urged resolution, but the rift's long-term effects on their political and business ties remains unclear. Yeah, well, if they go right back to normal, then it was all just about nothing. It was just horse shit. Or maybe that's just adults that can get over things, but damn, do they act like some mad high school girls if that's the case. If this was real and they go back to just being buddy-buddy, it's like, damn, y'all are like chicks. Go in the back and fight. Nah, you're trying to fucking destroy their reputation. That's chick stuff. That's girl stuff. What the hell? But, I mean, Musk freaking the fuck out and saying like, yo, he threatened this dude with not threatened, but he accused this guy of fucking kids. Or he highly implied, he left that for us to infer that, hey, this guy's been fucking the kids. That's why he won't release the files. You know those files you want to know about the bad guys fucking kids? He's one of them. It's like, damn, dude. I don't get these people, man. They make attacks and they do things like that like have permanent consequences. It's not just about what's happening right now. Like, oh, I want this bill to pass. This guy's a kid fucker. Like, god damn, dude. What happens a year from now when all this is gone and we're not even worried about that? We're on to the new thing and you guys got to work together. And he walks in and goes, oh, I fuck kids, huh? Yeah. I mean, fuck, that sticks in people's craw, Does it not? I've been looking at the wrong spot this whole time because I forgot I had a camera. And so I, picked a spot on the wall. I've been staring at that. So if that looks weird, sorry. I'll try to look at the camera. When the camera's not here, I pick a spot on the wall and imagine that's the camera. So, yeah, I don't know. Just this permanent fucking insults that are going to be brought up forever. Like, well, he did say that he was on the Epstein files, and that just further fuels fucking idiots to freak out, including myself. So, I don't know. And then Kash Patel goes on. I talked about it a little bit, obviously, but I just can't tell with that guy. He is charismatic, and he's fun to talk about, and he sounds like a hard-nosed, no-nonsense dude. And he was through Trump's first presidency, and he was a part of the staff. Not like cabinet or nothing, but he was the director of national assistant. I don't fucking know. He was something like that. Let's see what Grok has to say about that. Yeah, that was one thing they did talk about was the fentanyl crisis. And it kind of did make sense now, looking back. This is where Trump is a little bit of a 4D chess Magnus Carlsen sometimes. It says that, yeah, those stats they give you about fentanyl, only like fucking 0.5% comes through Canada. You know what they're talking about is fully formed fentanyl. They're not talking about if you can't buy the precursors in America to make fentanyl. They just buy it in Canada, or they ship it from China to Canada, or from China to Mexico, then Mexico to Canada, and then bring the precursors in that way, and then make it here. Or make it up there and then bring it down. I can't remember what it is. No, they make it in here. But they're allowed to get the precursors through up in Canada. So that's where Canada's not fucking, your hands aren't clean of this fentanyl crisis. You allow these Chinese companies to bring the precursors in through your fucking northern border. So chill the fuck out. And I guess India does too? What the fuck? We gotta go give India what for? Highlighted U.S.-India collaboration to disrupt China-backed fentanyl trafficking network with India as a transport point for precursors sent to Mexican cartels. Gonna have to lock that shit down, India. Maybe we should have singled you out instead of Canada. Even though Canada's right there. Why is it giving me 2? Oh, I see. Yeah, and what's really funny is that right in the middle of the interview, the Trump-Musk feud had just started. So you get like a live reaction from Rogan. Kash Patel obviously doesn't say anything. He's like, I can't comment on that. But in the post, he's like, or in the interview, he's just right there. He's like, what did Elon say? And it talks about how he says Trump's in the Epstein files. That's why they're not released. And Trump is even like, whoa, whoa, that's crazy. And yeah, Kash Patel said, that's way outside my lane, refusing to speculate on Musk's claims. Some criticized Patel's performance as evasive or unconvincing, claiming that he lacked charisma and failed to persuade Rogan, who appeared skeptical. Others, like Nanley, praised Patel's earlier discussions on government overreach. Yeah, he had some good reaction. It was definitely mixed. There was a couple areas where it just, like the stuff about Epstein, they could fake that now with AI. So who's to believe any fucking... It's already been reported there was no video. And now 2, 3, 4 years later, they're going to come out and go, oh, no, we had video the whole time. Like, what? I know I said last week, like, if you saw a video, Bongino, I want to see it too. And now they're saying they're going to show us the video. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just a fucking little contrarian, but I just don't trust these fuckers. You know what I'm saying? If there was video, why the fuck didn't you just show us right away? When you knew all these conspiracies were brewing. Should have just showed us right away. Here's the video. Just chill the fuck out. People still would have said it was fake then, too. But, I don't know. It would have looked way better than this. And then you going on Rogan and being like, I've seen the facilities. I've seen this. Yeah, but if the whole facility, the guy that runs it, and everybody's involved, you can get around all that shit. Yes, under normal procedures where the jail is not in on the murder, yeah, it's probably impossible. When the jail is actively trying to stop you from killing its inmates, it's probably pretty good at it. But the whole point is that maybe the people that ran the jail, it's for such a powerful guy and for such powerful figures that are going to be implicated by his testimony, maybe. Although nobody was implicated by fucking, what's her name? So that kind of blows a little bit of a hole in it. Because she was just as big a part of it. And they got no names out of her that we were ever able to see. So, what was he so fucking worried about? God damn. Yeah, so maybe if the jail's in on it, though, all those measures and redundancies you have to stop somebody from the outside coming in and killing one of your inmates don't mean shit. Because you've purposefully disabled them. Do you get that? Patel? I'm talking to Patel. Aiming to fix past, blah, 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 blah. He discussed fighting social media. Click armies. He does go through a whole bunch of shit about Russiagate and how Russiagate was... It was exactly what we thought it was, and it was exactly what we've said it was that people called you a conspiracy theorist about, or people called you just a fucking kook or a nutcase about. The Democrats took campaign finances and went and paid for the Steele dossier to bring that over, to use that. And then the FBI used their own leaked info. So they get this Steele dossier. They leak information about it to reporters. Then they go to a FISA court and use those reporters' reporting, acting as if it didn't come from them, to go, look, this is a common theme. This needs to be investigated. And the judge said, oh, okay, yeah, I guess. You know, you got all these fucking newspapers investigating it, too. It seems like there's smoke here. Seems like there's smoke here. So let's get a good look at this fire, maybe. It's just the most corrupt, like, way more corrupt than Watergate by a fucking order of magnitude. Like, what? You guys tried to our own government tried to stop a guy from getting elected through illegal means. Like, how is that not the big... And then it's like, get over it. It's like, get over it. What? What? Get over it? Your government lied to you and tried to make you think that your president was a Russian traitor. His own FBI tried to do that. What the fuck? So, yeah, I don't know. The interview was marked by Patel's cautious navigation of sensitive topics, particularly the Trump-Musk and Rogan's visible disbelief at breaking news. However, Patel's Epstein and reform claims drew skepticism from some listeners, reflected blah, blah, blah. I don't care what listeners have to say. Listeners are gay. Nobody gives a shit. I'm a listener, and I have a podcast, so maybe you give a shit. But if you don't have a podcast, shut the fuck up. Don't be a fucking commenter. I comment a lot. Sorry. Let's see what else we got. Oh, that's right. We got San Francisco. Fuck it. Let's keep it on the Elon. Elon had a little bit of other bad news for Elon. He had a SpaceX 9th launch, which ended in another explosion. They say they're part of the... It does seem like a lot of explosions. They do say that they're trying new things every time, and the reasons that it failed the first time didn't happen the second time. The reason they failed the second time didn't happen the third time. And now the reasons that are happening that happened the third time won't happen the fourth time. And there's nobody in these ships. It's billions of his own dollars. So let him blow them up if it perfects this system that they're going to use to get to Mars and get us to Mars. And so you get a lot of people online talking shit, though, like a bunch of idiots. Like any of them have any fucking clue what it's like to run a space company or the smart ones do the planning before the launch, I saw some guy say. And it was like, dude, you probably can't plan your fucking day. Shut the fuck up about what smart people do. That's what smart people do. Smart people don't do what you just said. So we know you're not one of them. So yeah, they might, hopefully they don't have no more explosions, because they were planning to catch the Starship, and they just keep blowing up in the fucking sky and turning into these looking meteor shower looking things. And it's hard to keep supporting them. And then now they got this spat with Trump. It's like, fuck, come on, man. Let's see. Let's switch gears here a little bit. San Francisco almost went full retard, baby. Never go full retard. Don't believe me? 2001, I Am Sam. Sean Penn went full retard. Went home empty-handed. Gonna change. So San Francisco announces that they're gonna change so schools are graded, just like students. You get A through F. And all the C or B through F schools that were in urban areas were going to be upgraded with no performance upgrade or increase. They were going to be all upgraded to A schools. Just because. In the name, they called it an equity push. And this is what I was talking about a few months ago. Like, when people say, like, what do you hate about diversity, equity, and inclusion? Is this. This is equity. This is the perfect example of equity right fucking here. The schools that are considered to have less equity because they had a harder upbringing in the hood or whatever, so in the ghetto or whatever you want to call it. So they didn't have the same opportunities as the more affluent white kids, which it affects poor white kids too. They don't have the resources that the rich black kids do. And so but still, yeah, that sucks. Everybody's got their cross to bear, but you don't just all of a sudden give them all A's because, well, it was harder for them. It's like, well, yeah, but you've made it look like they passed, but they don't know any of the stuff that it would actually take to pass. And it's like, yeah, but it was really hard for them to grow up. It's like, yeah, no, I get that. That sucks. But you just gave that guy a doctorate, and he doesn't know what it takes to be a doctorate, but he got an A like he got a doctorate. You know what I'm saying? And they do this with the schools. Oh, these are all A schools, so now they're going to get all A school funding, except I think all schools get the same funding, and that's the fucking problem, is that you should have it a competition where the A schools get more funding. They're doing a better job. They get earlier access to resources. I'll be right back. Pause. And we're back. It's been 13 hours since I walked away to go take a piss, but my family came home early when I came back from taking a piss, so I never got to finish the episode. And so we're back. So let's see. Where were we when I last left off? I believe we were talking shit about San Francisco schools that went full retard, baby. They decided to go full fucking communist, full Marxist, and go with diversity, equity, and inclusion, but going heavy on the equity. But apparently everybody said, what the fuck? And so the schools were like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, we're not going to do that. And so they've already backed out on it. So I don't even really get a chance to talk shit about it. I was hoping that they went full retard because fuck them. That's why they're retarded. And if they want to keep going down this retarded path and keep getting retarded results, fuck them. Let them. And so I was actually, I'm going to be honest, I was excited when I saw that San Francisco was doing this. I was like, good. Yes, crumble to the ground, you failed fucking city. But then I guess there's enough people in San Francisco that were like, hold up, what? And so they decided not to do it. So I guess they're not doing it. Let's see what else do we got going on out there. We got a lot of people escaping from prison lately. We got a couple stories out about people escaping prison. We got those 10 people that escaped from, I don't know where they escaped from. Where did they escape from? I had looked it up earlier. I don't know why it's not there. So you had 10 guys escape from that jail in New Orleans. And they paid off a janitor to turn the water off to the toilet so that they could remove a toilet. Now, I've been in prison before. Those toilets, they do have a 24/7 like water supply to them. If you hold the flush down on them, it just goes for as long as you'll hold that button. And that's how people smoke cigarettes in jail. Fun fact, if you're in county jail, prison, you can kind of smoke. It's not legal, at least in Florida prisons, to smoke out like you see in movies. But they're like so lax about it that it doesn't matter. But in county jails, at least Lake County where I was, there is no smoking and they don't fuck around with it. You'll catch time in the hole, they catch you smoking. So what you do is you go inside your cell, and if somebody somehow sneaks a cigarette in county, it's not necessarily up the ass. You can sneak things in easier than that. In prison, that's the only way you get anything in there. Somebody brings it in through their butt. That's just how it is. If you get something in prison from the outside, it came in through someone's butt. It's just what it is. And, they wrap it up. It's not like you're getting a cigarette with poop on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's double, triple wrapped. And, but that's how anything gets in there, including cell phones. So, if you ever see somebody posting from prison, you see a story about that on the news, just know that cell phone came in through someone's butt. Most likely. I'd say 99 times out of 100. There's 1 out of 100 where you might find a cool guard that's willing to bring in a phone for you, and that does happen sometimes. But by and large, when you see somebody posting a picture from prison, or you see any kind of cell phone activity from prison, and you're like, what the fuck? These motherfuckers got cell phones in there? Well, they don't. They're not supposed to. Somebody brought a cell phone into their butt. That's why usually they're real small. It's like an old school flip phone is what you'll find in prison a lot. At least when I was in prison, that's what I found. The only phones that you found in there, every once in a while you would find somebody that had a phone, but it was like one of those, it was like the tiny primitive flip phones, that you could conceivably fit up your ass. I don't know how I got on phones up the ass. Oh, yeah, so these guys, these 10 guys from this New Orleans prison, they escaped from prison. They were in there for some heavy shit, too. Murder. And they were able to escape through a hole in the wall behind a toilet. And I guess the security guard or the maintenance guy that they found that turned the water off to their toilet that allowed them to pull it off the wall and get out that way. Which, that took some faith right there. Because you pull that thing off the wall and you're like, what are we going to find? Most likely pipes in the wall. How the fuck is that going to happen? But these guys went for it. And all 10 of them got out of there. And they captured like half of them in the first fucking day. And then the other 4 a few days after that. Now there's only 2 of them on the run. And one of them is posting from Instagram. That's a crazy world we live in nowadays. That this guy escapes from prison and is posting from Facebook. Like, hey, man, like the movie The Fugitive would be very different nowadays. Back in the day, he got out, and then he had to work really hard to prove his innocence and collect facts and data and evidence that he could use, to support his case of wrongful prosecution or whatever. But nowadays, Harrison Ford would have just got out and got his phone out and started posting to Instagram or TikTok and been like, hey, y'all, I'm being persecuted by the state and I'm wrongfully accused and here's why, blah, 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 blah. He'd probably be able to raise a Kickstarter immediately that would help with his defense. And it would just be a very different movie nowadays. Every movie from 2005 back, every movie is almost null and void because now everybody has cell phones. So most of these problems, there's a lot of storylines in old movies that come from not having a phone or some way to connect, to get a hold of somebody. Or every cop show where you got somebody that collects a lot of data or that's like their internet guy. With Grok and with ChatGPT or just with Google nowadays, it's like that person is completely not needed. Why do I need some autistic genius sitting here wasting time searching the internet to find data that I could just go, hey, Grok, give me a list of this, and it does it for me. You know? Give me a list of all child pedophiles within 5 miles. Boom, boom, boom. Cross-reference that with a list of people that went to France earlier this year, because we're looking for somebody that went to France. And Croc will do that for me. I don't need some fucking like fat blonde lady in Criminal Minds being like, well, I know how to use the internet better than anybody. It's like, well, you're fucking stupid. Waste your energies on something else. I got Grok now, lady. Get out of here. So cop shows will probably be very different. I don't know how the fuck I got on this. Point is, these guys escaped from prison, and there's still one of them out on the loose. And now we got another guy that escaped from prison, and I've since found out that they caught this guy too. God damn, these guys are idiots. But they got another guy that escaped from an Arkansas prison. Now this guy was a little bit better. This man escaped by taking, I don't know if he did it. Okay, so there's this movie called I Love You, Philip Morris, about this guy played by Jim Carrey, who's in love with this other guy played by Ewan McGregor that he meets in prison. Because he's a con artist and he keeps conning his way through a lot of things. And he also keeps escaping from prison. And one of the ways that he does it is that he collects a whole bunch of green markers from the art department and then breaks them all in the toilet, turns the toilet bowl into like a makeshift dye station or something. And he takes all the markers, breaks them in the water, and then soaks his jumpsuit in that and gets it to like this almost like mint green color, very similar to a doctor's scrubs, puts those on, and walks right out the front fucking door. And apparently this guy up in Arkansas, that's the exact same thing he did. Now, I just saw on Netflix a documentary came out called Devil in the Ozarks, because that's the nickname they got for this guy. You can only hope when you're a serial killer that somebody gives you a cool nickname, right? If you come out with like the smiley face killer, it's like, ah, shit. But if you come out with Devil in the Ozarks, it's like, fuck yeah, man. I bet that dude felt like a pimp before they arrested his ass. I mean, he's a sick fuck that kills people, so let's hang him by his balls. But still, you know, he must have felt a little bit of victory in walking around with, like, he read that first newspaper article and was like, what do they call me? What do they call me? Devil in the Ozark. Yes! It wasn't something like the handicap killer or the weak man or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy is the fucking woman beater killer or something. The smiley face killer is one of those ones where you're like, what? Oh, he's the TLC killer. Oh, he's the killer with kindness killer, you know? All right, give me back to Grok. Give me back to Grok here. Give me back to Grok. Sorry, guys. I'm in the process. I might have said this earlier. Maybe I did. Like I said, it's been 13 hours since that last jump cut. But I'm trying to get a new computer. I'll get a new computer here shortly. You are signing into Grok. Yeah, no shit. No shit. That's why I went to grok.com. Dumbass internet. But now that I have this set built up, fun fact for in the oh, also, by the way, I guess I should tell you. In the meantime, we went and celebrated my birthday. My 38th birthday is coming up here in a few days. And so the family took me bowling. And as sad as I just made that look, it's actually awesome. I actually had a great time. They asked me what I wanted to do. And I was like, let's go bowling, man. We haven't went bowling as a family in a while. And it was good. We went to the first place, and it was absolutely fucking packed. Like, not one lane. We even called up after we walked back out to the parking lot. And I was like, yo, that place is filled to the brim. That place is stacked full of old people bowling. Somebody's about to have a fucking injury out there that needs surgery. And it looked like it was like a league bowling, which I swore they always did league bowling in the middle of the week because of this. But whatever. Anyways, we walked out and immediately called them and said, like, hey, do you guys have any lanes open? And they're like, no, not one lane is open. And I was like, exactly. So we went to another bowling alley about 15 minutes away, and they didn't have a single soul bowling. Now, this is in the Villages. Maybe you've heard of this place. It's a place in Florida where it's primarily old people, and it has its own zip code, and it's growing and growing and growing every day. There's giant sections of what used to be forests that are now fully developed neighborhoods with roads and roundabouts and nice signs, and everything's manicured, and the lawn is everything. All the landscaping everywhere is like, you know, top notch. And yeah, that's great. I would rather look at my history of Grok searches. Can I do that, please? Thanks. Can I see my history? Thanks. Ah, shit. It's only remembering the last time I was on Grok itself. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. All right. For some reason, if you look at Grok on Twitter, or X, it doesn't remember past like 3 searches. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, wait. No, here we go. Okay, maybe that was afterwards. Ha! There, I did. All right. So the Arkansas prison escape. Grant Hardin, who? Grant Hardin, a 56-year-old former police chief nicknamed Devil in the Ozarks, was serving a 30-year sentence for murder and 50 years on top of that for the 1997 rape at a North Central unit in Oh, that means he was a cop and then raped a chick. And then also killed somebody somewhere else. Damn. So this homeboy was a bad dude. He escaped a medium security prison around 2:55 p.m. disguised in a makeshift law enforcement uniform, possibly leveraging his prison kitchen job. I don't know how those connect. He exited through a sally port after a prison officer opened a secure gate. Yeah. So when you're on those fuzzy cameras walking through the hallways, the cops just kind of look, and if you look familiar, they're probably going to be like, and buzz you through. So this dude probably did what that Philip Morris guy did, and he just rolled up looking familiar and was like, hey, let me through. And just like they've done a million times, they were like, okay, no problem. And they let him out. And lo and behold, little did they know that this guy was a motherfucking real deal, holy full murderer that they just let walk out the goddamn door. He exited through a sally port. Heavy rain and rocky terrain initially hindered the search, which involved local, state, and federal authorities, including the FBI, which offered a $10,000 reward. However, he was captured on June 6th, 2025, after a nearly 2-week manhunt, 1.5 miles northwest of the prison. God damn, he didn't get real far, did he? In 2 weeks, he got 1.5 miles. Arkansas law enforcement and U.S. Border Patrol apprehended him. No further details indicate additional escapes or ongoing concerns related to the Hardin, so don't worry about it. That's basically what that means. Yeah, and 10 inmates that escaped from the New Orleans prison. Now, this place was a fuckhole of a jail, obviously. A jail maintenance worker allegedly aided the escape by shutting off water to the toilet, and at least 14 others, friends, family, and another inmate, provided post-escape support like food, cash, and transport. The jail was found to have defective locks, non-functional cameras, about 1/3 of their cameras were broken, and flooding issues, which complicated security. Yeah, you think? Flooding issues? What does that mean? Did they have, like, toilets backing up, or did they have... What do they got going on there? I wonder what that means. By May 27th, 3 more escapees had been caught in Texas and Baton Rouge. These boys got a little bit farther than 1 fucking miles northwest. On June 2nd, he posted Antoine Massey, who's the last one to have state escape. Or is still... Yeah... He says, posted on Instagram videos claiming his wrongful prosecution and mistreatment, showing papers that said he proved his innocence. Which, yeah, might have just been holding up some loose leaf notebook paper. Every one of these papers has a fucking reason why. I mean, I can't show you any of them in detail because the camera that I'm using is real fuzzy and whatnot. But, you know, get me a lawyer and I'll show these and I'll be able to go free. It's like, God, if only it was that simple. I have these papers that prove my innocence if somebody would just look at them. Authorities believe he and Groves may have left Louisiana, possibly hiding in other cities. A $50,000 reward per fugitive. Oh, man, I bet these boys don't have too many friends right now, because goddamn, if they was my mother, for $50,000, I'd turn their ass in right now. With nearly 700 tips received by Crime Stoppers, and probably about 699. I would never call Crime Stoppers, but even if I did call Crime Stoppers, it wouldn't be unless, like, it was my brother. You know what I mean? Or something I knew he was the bad guy. With 700 tips received by Crime Stoppers, it's like, you know, most of these are just fucking losers that are like, yeah, no, I think I know who it is. I think it's my friend Timmy. Timmy talked about he said he was going to escape from prison. Is Timmy in prison? No. But he said if they ever arrested him, he would escape. Okay, well, we're looking for somebody that was in prison and did escape already. Can I get that Crime Stopper reward? No, you fucking idiot. Let's see. Connection to Trump Musk, blah, 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 blah. Hardin's recapture closes the case, right? The manhunt for Massey and Groves continues as of June 8th, with authorities following leads nationwide. Yeah, damn. These motherfuckers, they stayed out. Let's see, who stayed out? All right. What's the longest that somebody's ever stayed out of prison? Let's see. Henry Charrier, Papillon. There's a movie called Papillon, written by Dalton Trumbo, the original one of the few Daltons out there, especially in Hollywood. I think they redid it a few years ago with Charlie Hunnam, the guy from Sons of Anarchy. He was sentenced in 1931 for murder, which he claims he did not commit. Convicted in France, Charrier, I don't know how you say his name, was sent to the penal colony in French Guiana. After multiple failed attempts, he finally escaped in 1944 from Devil's Island by floating on a sack of coconuts to Venezuela. Oh, wow. Successfully stayed out, living in Venezuela, where he became a citizen, opened businesses, and later returned to France to publish his memoir. He died in 1973, never being recaptured. His story, though, is partly disputed as exaggerated. Of course it is. So is everybody's. Look up Catch Me If You Can. His whole story's bullshit. It's kind of sad. Dillinger escaped for a little while. Ted Bundy obviously escaped for a little while. American activist and a member of the Black Liberation Army, Assata Shakur, originally named Joanne Chesimard, convicted in 1977 for the murder of a New Jersey state trooper. She maintains her innocence. Bullshit. In 1979, Shakur escaped from Clinton Correctional Facility. Nothing to do with Bill Clinton. He was probably 21 at the time. New York Correctional Facility in New Jersey with help from accomplices who took guards hostage. She fled to Cuba, where she received political asylum and has lived since the 1980s. As of 2025, she remains at large with a $2 million reward for her capture. Wow. Cuba's non-extradition status has protected her. You got some balls to just be 60, 90 miles off the coast of America being like, nah, fuck you. But I guess it works. They couldn't slap her. I still don't understand how Guantanamo Bay works. How the fuck do we have Guantanamo Bay in Cuba who hates us and we don't get along? Could you imagine if America had like some fucking not kick-ass, but like some hard-nosed prison, but it was like right in the middle of Russia? You'd be like, how the fuck does that work? That's how Guantanamo Bay works to me. It's like, wait, hold on. The Cubans can't go in Guantanamo Bay even though Guantanamo Bay is in Cuba, and Americans can't go in Cuba even though Guantanamo Bay is in Cuba. It's like, what? Modern surveillance cameras makes long-term evasion harder today, so most successful cases are pre-2000s. More recent escapees like Massey and Groves from the 2025 New Orleans are still hunted with no guarantee of lasting freezing. No shit! I omitted figures like D.B. Cooper. Yeah, fuck D.B. Cooper. I went over him in episode like 32 or 31. He fucking did it again a couple years later, and he did it for more money on a bigger plane, and then they arrested him a few years after that, and he died in a shootout. That's pretty much what happened. Let's see. What else did we talk about? I already talked about the Kash Patel appearance. If you really want to know about the Kash Patel appearance, Tim Dillon's latest episode, he's got a pretty good analysis of that. The reason they won't release the footage from Epstein Island supposedly is because of the women involved, and they don't want to rehash it for him, as if you couldn't just blur them out. Like, what? Why can't you just blur them out? Oh, maybe because the videos you have of people fucking the kids and the girls are of more than the people that we know about, like Prince Andrew. Let's see. I already talked about SpaceX. I already talked about that. Oh, we got that hiker. A hiker rescued from Mount Fuji. Let's get a little bit more details on that one. And we're back. In April 2025, okay, so this is about a hiker that was climbed Mount Fuji once, right? And then got lost, went off the path, and then got stuck somewhere and had to be rescued, right? So he gets rescued. They bring him all the way back. They use all those resources and time and energy to go get his ass, and they bring him all the way back. And dumbass figures, nah, I left my phone there. Shit. Well, you know what? Now that they went and got me and I saw how to get out of there and I remember how I got there, I could probably get there and back. And he didn't. So in April 2025, a 27-year-old Chinese university student, God, you think they'd be smarter, don't you? Living in Japan, well, maybe not, and rescued twice from Mount Fuji within 4 days. On April 22nd, he was airlifted from the Fuji Nomiya Trail at about 3,000 meters, otherwise 9,800 feet. After losing his crampons, I wish I knew what that was because it really sounds like tampons. Sounds like that's something that women would take for their period crampons. After losing his crampons and suffering altitude sickness during an off-season climb. So he got sick up there. 4 days later, on April 26th, he then returned to retrieve his phone and other belongings left behind, only to succumb to altitude sickness again. Another hiker found him collapsed and alerted authorities, leading to a second rescue. He was carried down on a stretcher and treated with no life-threatening injuries reported. The incident sparked public criticism, with many on social media arguing he should bear the costs of the rescue, as there's no penalty for off-season climbing or rescue in Japan. Authorities reiterated warnings against climbing Mount Fuji outside the official season due to harsh conditions, snow, and closed facilities, which increases risks. The student later stated that he would never climb again. Bullshit. If you're dumb enough to get rescued from a place and then go right back 3 days later, you're dumb enough to climb again after you've been rescued twice in 4 days. Fucking idiot. I couldn't imagine that call. I would die. I would just die. I would just wither away and pass out. Well, so did he, actually. Somebody else had to find his. I bet he did. He's probably the same way. He was like, there's no fucking way I'm calling anyone to come get me. This is just where I die. I'm going to die here now because I deserve this. I'm a fucking idiot that tried to come back and get his cell phone. First of all, how'd you leave it there the first time, you idiot? But either way, I can't really talk shit because that's probably something I would do. But then you come back 4 days later. He did probably exactly what I would have done. He went, nope, this is where I die. This is where I die. If God had a plan for me, clearly it was for me to die on this mountain. And somebody screwed it up the first time. And God put that thought back in my head to climb back out here. And now I'm going to die here. And he just gave up and probably collapsed into a pile of his own piss. And then somebody came up and found him. And they were like, what the fuck? There's a man laying here in yellow snow. And he had no idea that this guy had just been rescued days before. If he had, he probably would have fucking left him there and been like, you dumbass. You dumbass. But what are you going to do? So, yeah, if you get rescued off a mountainside, you know, and they got to bring helicopters and people to, like, bring you down the mountain on a stretcher, which, fuck, who knows how hard it was. How hard was it for you to get up there? I can't imagine it wasn't very easy. Now they got to bring you down on a stretcher like a couple of Sherpas. You just made a bunch of people's day very miserable. So he was probably like, don't rescue me. I'm dumb. I deserve to die here. I deserve to die here. They're like, sir, we literally legally can't leave you here. Trust me, we would love to leave you here. All right. Let's see. Do I want to talk about Angel Reese? I don't know. I feel like, first of all, she looks like the sloth off of Ice Age, which I don't mean to make fun of somebody's looks, but god damn is that bitch ugly. And she's just annoying, and her personality makes her 10 times more ugly. First of all, you're a chick playing basketball. You just kind of suck already. You know, even like the best WNBA player would get smoked one-on-one with like a 17-year-old high school boy. And you can tell just by the way Angel shoots. If you ever watch a compilation of her shooting, it's the ugliest form and shooting mechanics that you've ever seen. And she's left-handed too, and she does like this weird, like really accentuated left-hand push-off with her. It's just ugly. And she misses a lot of shots, and then she feels like she has to go out there and say things like, you know, people that watch the WA, it's not just because of one person, and I want y'all to realize that. Well, you know what? These people get paid to watch sports all day long, and probably a lot of people in that room get paid to watch the WNBA of all fucking things. So they probably know exactly why people are watching, and if you have to be so pathetic to go, you know, people aren't just watching it because of one person. They're watching it because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that. It's like, well, we didn't, because if we did, we would have known that already, and it would have been obvious, and you wouldn't have to say it. If you have to tell people to realize something that you think is obvious that they're not realizing, it's because it's not obvious, because it's probably not true. People aren't just watching this sport. You know, there's been 1,000 players like you. I know you were the first one to get to 500 points and 500 rebounds in the fastest amount of time. But if you're able to get 3 rebounds after every one of your shots because you keep missing the fucking ball so much, a basket so much, I don't know. Something tells me maybe you're not actually that good. And I don't know. It's hard to judge because you watch those supercuts and you go, Jesus Christ, can this bitch even hold a ball? I mean, she travels all the fucking time on what they do call her on and what they don't call her on. She's constantly like flipping the ball over in her hand and then turning it back over and then continuing to move. She doesn't pivot. She's got a real bad time pivoting on the one foot to like not use up a step. She constantly like will move 6 to 8 inches with her pivot foot, and you're like, that counts as a step, lady. And then she'll turn the ball back over and like switch it in between hands and then start dribbling again, and you're like, this is like elementary type shit that you keep fucking up on. But I want y'all to realize it's not just because of one person, okay? It's because of me too. It's like, do you not feel dumb saying that? Could you imagine? I can't imagine how dumb I would feel saying that. Like, hey guys, I know everybody's paying attention to Caitlin Clark because she's like better than any player that's ever been, but I'm really good too, okay? I want y'all to realize that. I'm awesome too. That's basically what she's saying. Like, yeah, everybody's freaking out and they're saying Caitlin Clark's the best, but I'm really good too, okay? Does everyone realize that? I'm also awesome. It's like, I get having the thought. Everybody has, like, egotistical thoughts every once in a while, but you go like, Jesus Christ, I can't say that out loud. I'd sound like a fucking megalomaniac. So you don't. You keep it to yourself, and you go, let's downplay it. Be a little bit more humble about it. Let's be cool. Maybe you're not the best. Not Angel Reese. Not Angel Reese. She gets out there and has no shame about saying that. And then when somebody brings it up a year later and says, like, hey, do you have any comment on that? She goes, next question, and just moves on. It's like, God, you are the definition of an ugly loser. And she definitely is ugly. People saying she's hot. She ain't hot. She's hot in a few pictures that you get to look at. But everyone, you see that bitch in person, which I've never seen her in person, so I'm talking shit. But if you see her in, like, not just still shots that are made to make her look hot, she looks like the sloth from Ice Age. She looks like some goofy, her eyes are about 3 inches too far apart. And now I'm just hating on the lady's looks, which, what does that make me? But I don't know. I feel like if I played her in basketball one-on-one, I could smoke her. I'm not going to lie. She's pretty fit and agile, but so am I, you know? And I feel like I can make 30% field goal average. I can make 3 out of 10 shots, you know? And that's what she's about averaging. And on the 7 out of 10 that she misses, she gets the rebound for him. I don't know. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I think the WNBA is stupid anyways. But when I watch highlight clips of Caitlin Clark, it's like, yo, here we go. Here's like a Steph Curry shooter from beyond the arc. And she's hitting like half-court shots, you know. 5/8 court shots. From the logo, just shy of the logo, you know. In between the logo and the arc. And man, you just see Angel Reese, and it's just like miss after miss after miss after miss after miss after miss. I mean, there's viral videos going around about guys gambling that she's going to miss the first shot of every game, and it seems like they're doing pretty good, and they're on like a 10-day run of making her look like a fucking idiot because she misses the first shot of every game. But I want y'all to realize that it's not just because of her, it's because of me too. It's like, wow. I guess I have nothing really interesting or unique to say other than she just grinds my gears. Looking at her face makes me want to fucking flip out. Because she's just like, copy. And then when she fucking gets fouled by Caitlin Clark and she's all like, acting like she's going to punch her, it's like, bitch, you ain't shit. You're a chick basketball player. Settle down, all right? You're not a fucking gang. You're not a blood or crip. Your brothers might be, but you're not. So chill out, all right? Acting like you're going to fucking fight. And if only they weren't holding me back, I'd really unleash on you. Like, shut the fuck up. You're a chick basketball player. Calm down. And you're 6'5", going up against some, like, 5'10" white girl. Relax. I'd say the same thing if the situation was reversed. I'd say it if you went up against Simone Biles. Like, yo, chill out. She's a little 5'2" gymnast. You're a 6'5" fucking giraffe. I almost said giraffe. Giraffe. Calm down. What are you going to do? You're going to walk up and punch her in the head and lose your whole fucking WNBA career? chill out. And then they make it a whole thing about, that's the other thing that really pissed me off, is like they're searching for it to be about race. And so like even after the WNBA starts an investigation to find racism, and they come out and go like, actually it turned out we couldn't find a single fucking verifiable fact to prove that there was anything racist in this. And then even the way that reporter bitch fucking interviews Caitlin Clark, what statement were you trying to make? I would have been like, bitch, fuck you. What statement? I was trying to give me the fucking ball. That was my statement. I was trying to foul her so she didn't just get an easy fucking basket under the basket. What statement were you trying to make? Oh, yeah. I was trying to say that black people are less than white people and white people are the superior race. Any other questions? I mean, like, what the fuck answer did she expect? I was trying to say that the Aryan nation is the super race and all other races and ethnicities need to be ethnically cleansed from the earth. Like, it's a fucking basketball game and she fouled her. Chill out. But ESPN is like gone full woke and everything is fucking, they're trying to make a political social issue and they get Jamel Hill in there who's a goddamn retard. And you can even watch it. Anytime she gets pushed back, she's like, her face is like, okay, maintain composure. Oh, God, here we go. We're getting a little pushback, And it's not just about race. Oh, God. It's like, you're the fucking racist. Ryan Clark. Fuck you, Ryan Clark. I used to like you because you were a Steeler. You're a fucking bitch. Dude can't criticize another player without you bringing up his white wife or bringing out what it's like to be a black person. Shut the fuck up. Angel Reese has probably had a privileged fucking existence. She doesn't have anything resembling. I might be talking out of my ass here, and she had like a horrible fucking menace to society growing up in Compton, the hood upbringing. But I doubt it. I highly fucking doubt it. I'm sure she was a fucking, not silver spoon necessarily, but she was probably a fucking pampered, spoiled little brat. You have to be a pampered, spoiled little brat to say, like, it's not just because of one person. Okay, it's because of me. If it was because of you, people would have already acknowledged it and said that. But they haven't, because it's not. So, fuck off. So, she was a spoiled little bitch kid. And that's why she acts like that now. And one thing you do notice about having kids is that, like, all the spoiled brats that you see as grown-ups, you're like, oh, it's because you never had a parent to stop that when you were a kid, and so it just never went away. And you're still a little spoiled brat, but now a full-grown one. But you act the same way because you never had any pushback on being a spoiled brat. And that's what Angel Reese really looks like to me. But what statement were you trying to make when you fouled her? Something that happens 452 times every game? What statement were you trying to make there? You're a dumb bitch. I believe that's what I was saying. I didn't know you even existed when I made that foul. But now that you're asking me this question, I realize that foul signified a lot more than what I thought it meant. It was a message to everyone like you. Like, what the fuck? Could you give me a more race-baiting fucking... You know what I mean? Like just loaded question than that? Like, what the fuck? What statement were you trying to make? I was trying to make, I don't want you to make this basket statement. We're playing basketball. I didn't realize we were at the fucking picket line. Like, what are you talking about? So, all right, let's get off this. I'm fucking too pissed to be entertaining. I guess I'll finish up with, a final story about Facebook. Man, Facebook is damn near unfucking usable. Have you noticed that lately? I know everybody's been slowly getting off that app, and I've been getting off that app, and I've only recently been like kind of going back on it. And fuck it. I'll never go on there again. Thank God they added like the friends section so you can get back to like somewhat of old Facebook where you can like scroll what everybody you know is doing. And every once in a while it'll throw in a few that you don't know. Because if you don't do that and you just go to the regular wall, it is all fake, all bots, all... Like, I remember back in the day, Joe Rogan would talk about the fact that, like, 19 out of 20 Facebook groups were bots from, like, a Russian troll farm or something. And now, it is just so painfully obvious. Years have gone by, and now everything that comes up, I'm like, oh, this is clearly some fake app or some fake bot that started a group, and it really is like a group about every like inflaming subject that you can think of. There's a group now for it, and a group that's like, we support this or we support that and the opposite of that, and then it's just constant fighting and bickering for engagement and clicks. And not only that, every other story that I see on Facebook now is just 100% out and out fake. You'll go on there and it'll be like, here's this new movie from this person and this person. And you're like, not even close, like not a true story at all, 100% made up. Or it'll be some story like Caroline Levitt stopped by The View and they had to call security to get her out of there in a fucking red. And you're like, what? And nope, 100% fake, never happened. I saw one with Caroline Levitt and Rachel Maddow, and it said Rachel Maddow had to get security to get Caroline Levitt out of the building. And then you're like, oh, wow, not true at all. And that's fine for people like me, but I genuinely do worry about the younger generation that's only grown up with this. And so they're not going to know the difference. Like, they're not going to have like, oh, I have like this 20-year basis or 30-year basis of like knowing how to get factual information and what's real and what's not. The new generation is just going to grow up in a sea of like, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it's not. And now with this AI, it's like, anything I see might be fake as fuck. And so, it's going to be a real wish-washy world for them. I'm really glad I at least have a few years outside of the Matrix where I could, kind of establish a baseline before we have what we have now. Because fuck. It's just going to be, they're not going to know what is true, what is not, what sources are real, what sources are not. They're going to be able to have AI sources that look like real anchors and real news stories and real presidents saying real things. And I heard somewhere that the only way you're going to be able to verify anything is through a blockchain network, which kind of actually does make sense. If you look into blockchains, it's like everybody has a piece of the chain, and you're able to use the entire network to verify the network itself, because every person has a piece of the chain, and if you don't have a piece of that chain, then you know that person's fake. And so that's how Bitcoin works on the blockchain. And so every Bitcoin is verifiable, but it's only verifiable because everyone has a piece of the chain, and so everyone can confirm the chain. I don't know, I'm simplifying it, I'm sure I don't understand it too much. But it's going to get that way with video, where when everybody releases video, if I release a video episode of this podcast, I'm going to have to somehow put it on some sort of blockchain so that you can even verify that I actually did put it out myself. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting world. But Facebook is fucking unusable. And I believe Facebook is in its dying last couple years. Maybe not even that. I think Facebook is like, if it wasn't for Meta or what they got going on with that, Facebook, I think, would have like less than 5 years left, and they would be the way of MySpace, and they'd be gone. And I think I am going to be gone for today's episode. That is our first video episode back in fucking 6 months. It's going to be rolling through, or we're going to be rolling with video from here on out. So, yeah, I look forward to posting more and cutting these up into little clips and just having more to say and more to share. And, yeah, so join me next week again for the Diaz Cast. Thank you very much. See you guys. Bye.